over B. Did I do this right? That could be over AB. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, choice 3. Alright. Which graph represents a one-to-one function? So, one-to-one means that it passes the horizontal line test. I'm sorry, so for functions, we would use the vertical line test. For one-to-one and onto, we use the horizontal line test. And in this case, a one-to-one function is not supposed to hit twice. So this one fails. This one definitely fails, right? This one passes the horizontal line test, as does this, right? However, this one fails the vertical line test, so it's not a function. Therefore, this one is the correct choice. It's both a function and it's one-to-one. Alright, the sides of a parallelogram measure 10 centimeters and 18 centimeters. So, here's a quick sketch. 10 by 18. One angle of the parallelogram is 46 degrees. That's this small one. What is the area of the parallelogram to the nearest square centimeter? Okay. So to do this problem, what we can do is we can imagine it as though it's two separate triangles. And we can use our area formula for triangle, which is k equals 1/2 AB sine C. That's our new area formula for triangles. And we can plug in our numbers. So we get 1/2. A is the first side, so 10. B, other side, 18. Sine of C, so sine of 46. That'll get us this area here. And then if we want the entire area, we can just forget about the 1/2, because really we'll be multiplying that by 2. So anyway, we end up with 10 times 18, which is 180 sine 46. Calculator to the rescue. So 180 sine 46. We end up with 129 as our result. 22. What is the minimum? The minimum point of the graph of this equation is this. What is the minimum point on the graph of this equation? Okay. So here we have a shift going on. So this plus 5, notice it's outside. It's not affecting the x directly. It's affecting the f of x, which is a y value. So y value is increasing by 5. So that's a vertical shift up 5. So that's going to translate this point up 5. In particular, the y value is going to be added 5. So it's going to be a y value of 2. That's choice 1. The graph of this is shown below. What is the product of the roots? Okay. So, looks like we can just grab these roots real quick. So we have -1. This is 1, 2, and this is 3. So, -1 times 6 is going to be -6. Just 2. What is the conjugate of this? Okay, so we just change the middle sign to negative, and, whoops, yeah, choice 2. What is the common ratio of the geometric sequence whose first term is 27 and fourth term is 64? The question is, what do we have to multiply by once, twice, 3 times? So 27 times some number multiplied by itself 3 times has to equal up to 64. So now to solve this equation, we divide by 27, effectively moving the 27 down to the bottom there. And then we raise both sides to the 1/3 power. So we end up with x equals the cubed root of 64, which is 4, over the cubed root of 27, which is 3. So 4/3. That's choice 3. Which graph represents one complete cycle of this equation? Okay, so y equals sine 3 pi x. So this 3 pi number right here is basically our frequency. So the frequency is 3 pi, and the period is equal to 2 pi divided by the frequency. So it's equal to 2 pi divided by 3 pi. Pi's cancel. You end up with 2/3 as your period. So that's the length of your wave. So the length of our wave is going to be 2/3. So this one works. This one does not. This does not. And neither does this, because this full wave from negative 2/3 to 2/3, that would be 4/3 distance. Which two functions are inverse functions of each other? So the rule is, if I compose a function with its inverse, that will give me back my original value of my input variable. So effectively one undoes the other. And it's looking like choice 4 because I have a multiplication followed by a subtraction, and then I have division and an addition. So that's looking to be correct, but actually the ordering would also have to switch. It's just like if you give directions. You'd have to do the order in reverse. So if it's left, left, right, it would be right, left, left, coming home. So actually this one might be a better option, and in fact it's going to be the correct answer. So when we do e to the ln of x, that's going to equal x, and also if we did ln of e to the x, that also equals x, right? Because the natural log is the log base e of e to the x. So what does that equal? Well, this is telling us, okay, e, right, to what power equals e to the x? And of course the answer would be x. Alright, so we're into the part 2s. First thing we want to do here is factoring by GCF. So we can factor out an a. We're left with 5x squared, or sorry, 10x squared minus 23x minus 5. And from here it looks like we'll have to do some AC factoring. So first and last, it's negative 50x squared. Factor it down into, looks like 25 and 2 is going to work. So 25 and 2, each having an x. This being negative, that is going to equal up to our middle term, which is negative 23x. That's what our goal was. So now what we do is we replace these guys into the middle term. So we end up with, just rewriting, now we had negative 25x plus 2x minus 5. And of course we want to group this thing, so we group the first two terms and the second two terms. We could actually accomplish that like this. And then we factor out from the first two terms. We want to factor out a 5x. We're left with 2x minus 5. And then we also can pull out just a plus 1 here, and we have 2x minus 5. You'll notice that these match, so the next step is to factor that matching piece out. So that is, once we factor out the 2x minus 5, we'll just end up with these two factors as our result. And this is going to be our final answer here. Express this sum using sigma notation. Okay, so here's our sigma notation. Of course, we're going to need to see that this is an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 7 and a first term of 7. So, if we had a sub n, that would equal a1 plus d times n minus 1. So 7 plus 7 n minus 1. And let's distribute that 7, so we get 7n minus 7. And so we end up with just 7n. So if we do the sum of 7n, from I equals 1 to, well, not I, we can use n, I suppose. I think it's best if we, match those. So n equals 1 up to, we got to figure